All right, hi everyone. We don't have everyone here that we were expecting, but we're going to go ahead and get started, and then any latecomers can tune in. So, welcome back. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus since before the holidays. Happy Valentine's Day. We're really excited today to talk more about our wonderful programs and the career pathways, today focusing on plants and agriculture.
As usual, I'll do some housekeeping notes first to start. Can I just get a raise of hands if you can hear me okay? Your raise hand button is located on your dashboard. So if you can just do that now, then I know you can hear me. Okay, so throughout the presentation, when you have questions, please use the Q&A tool located on your dashboard as well. We'll do our best to answer all of your questions at the end of the webinar, and if we can't answer them today, then we'll for sure answer them next time. If you have any questions or concerns throughout the presentation as well, just feel free to use the chat box. And lastly, I will send a link at the end of this to view the recording of this webinar afterwards, and we thank you for your participation.
Who are we? So Carly and Christine of the OAC Liaison Program. So we're from the Ontario Agricultural College, and what we do is we build awareness of our academic career pathways in agriculture, environment, communities, and our topic today focusing on plants and specifically agriculture.
So based on feedback, we put the survey out to find out what we wanted to learn about as educators. We decided to cover these components. In this webinar in relation to plants and agriculture, we'll be covering the job market landscape. We'll talk a little bit about the 6 academic programs we have in this thematic area at the OAC. 3 of them are degree programs and 3 of these are diploma programs. We'll make a career connection and share the story of a recent graduate that's now working in this discipline of plant and crop science. And the focus of the webinar is going to be providing you with resources that you can use or take advantage of when talking with students about education and careers in plants and agriculture.
So today's topic of plants and agriculture will touch on several different industries. And this is going to include vegetable production, crops, turf grass, and the new hot topic, cannabis. So when we're looking at the job market landscape, it was really difficult to choose just a few highlighted points for today. But these are the ones that we landed on. So in Canada's agriculture sector, a labor market forecast presented that the greenhouse and nursery and floriculture industry will continue to have the largest labor gap with 27,000 more jobs than available domestic workers by 2025. So although this statistic is a little bit dated, we're still healthy in the range of that time frame where those jobs will still be growing. So that means that we're still looking for talented, passionate people to join in that part of the plant industry. Our next point, employment in Canada's cannabis industry has nearly quadrupled in the past year, while the number of companies in that space has more than doubled. So that's from Statistics Canada, and that really does show the growth since the legalization and the types of jobs that might be available. Include 60% of people being employed in cultivation, harvesting, processing, manufacturing, and administration. And another 20% are working in packaging, marketing, sales, and shipping activities. And then the remainder of that workforce is in quality assurance, research and development, security, engineering, and general maintenance activities. So a real variety of different pathways there, both diploma, some apprenticeship level, and then also that undergraduate grad studies as well. Next, we've got a couple of points from our Planning for Tomorrow document. So that report that's on employment in agriculture. So 57% of agriculture employers surveyed stated that more than half of their employees require to have a post-secondary education. So as these industries are changing, jobs are also changing, and the requirements for those new and exciting careers are growing as well. So that really does put some value on that post-secondary education. And we've always made this mention before, but I wanted to talk about it again. Employers prefer to have students that have co-op or internship experience. In this webinar, the academic programs that we're going to talk about today don't have co-op options. So what will be more important is talking about internship opportunities, research, as well as exchanges and summer jobs. So this slide is an example of some of the employers that hire our grads, which is really, really cool. So some of these are local, some of these are global. You might recognize some might be new to you. The types of jobs that are within these companies that our grads are working in include things like greenhouse growers, plant pathologists, agronomists, research technicians, irrigation specialists, technical sales reps. Christine is going to talk more about these a little bit later.
Our question for you today is, what do you think would attract students to pursue studies in plants and agriculture? If you could just keep this question in mind throughout the webinar, we'll come back to it at the end and we'll hopefully receive your responses then. So first off, there are tons of ways to get involved on campus and take advantage of experiential learning opportunities. This is a fairly large list, but there's a lot left out on it too. Botany Club, Weeds Club, the Student Federation of the OAC, Let's Talk Science. Those are just some of the clubs that are available on campus that are related to plants or agriculture. We also have a project called Project Soy, and it was designed as an annual contest that harnesses students' creative power to develop new products and marketing strategies for soybeans. Project Soy Plus submissions will be judged by University of Guelph stakeholders at a finale event for the opportunity to win cash prizes. Once the program concludes, students will be encouraged to further enhance and develop their plant-based innovations with an on-campus innovation center resource for commercialization and market potential. So we actually have a hub on campus where students can work on creating their business plan. We also have a horticulture club, the Guelph Agri-Food Network, College Royal Society, and then there are multiple different international courses. The first I'll mention here is a Midwest Ag course. So this is a field study course designed to increase the students' breadth of knowledge of agricultural production and agribusiness in North America. Students in the course tour a selected area of the Midwest United States prior to the fall semester starting. They visit cash crop farms and livestock farms, as well as supporting industries such as processing manufacturing plants and then markets, so elevators and stockyards. I've had a bunch of friends go on this opportunity, and it's really awesome. We also have tons of exchange and study abroad opportunities, the Flex internship, which I'll mention more about in a second, sports team, intramurals, and other clubs for those with a wide variety of interests. So the Flex internship course that I just mentioned, that relates to Carly's stat about having experiential learning and employers really valuing that. This is a flexible internship in agri-food course. It's intended for upper year students, and it's a good alternative to co-op. It involves online and classroom components with a 40-hour unpaid experiential learning internship in the agri-food sector with government, industry, or civil society organizations. This 40 hours can be done either in a focused amount of time or spread out throughout the semester, but that is key to this course. Students will learn about the integrated nature of the agri-food industry in Canada and the many forces that shape the system, including their own food choices. Knowledge of current and future trends in the agri-food system, together with the development of certain career readiness skills, will assist students who may have a career interest in the agri-food sector. This teaches how to write a resume and cover letter, helps to develop strong interview presences, and gives students experience working for the agri-food organization. Another really cool field course that they can take in their undergraduate degree is the field course in international agriculture. So this trip travels to Costa Rica. It involves a lecture series before the travel and then gives students a theoretical background. And then during reading week, they travel to Costa Rica together and visit a variety of different agricultural systems, both large and small. They explore the humid tropics, tropical savanna, and high altitude tropical agroecological zones. Gosh, that's a mouthful. These pictures here are from Michelle. She actually works for the liaison program with us. She's a current student. She traveled to Costa Rica last year during reading week, and then she has a testimonial that she'd like to share with us today. So she says, this trip was an incredible way to broaden my perspective on what agriculture looks like in a different country and to respect how less developed countries farm. It was amazing to learn about tropical agriculture through a hands-on physical experience that brought learning to a whole new level. I was also lucky enough to go on this trip with a great group of people who helped make it an even more memorable and fun experience.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about the undergraduate degree programs that connect to plants and agriculture. So the first program being crop, horticulture, and turfgrass sciences. So that's also a mouthful, so we usually call it CHATS for short. And this program applies the latest discoveries in the biological sciences to current problems in the plant production industry. So production of field crops for food, fuel, or biomaterials, and breeding improved crop varieties. Students will have lots of hands-on experience in commercial greenhouses or horticulture or crop farms. Also available as independent study projects or field courses, which is an optional course that they can take in their upper years to get more experience on the research side. The next program is Honors Agriculture. So these are both a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture degree program, and those are both of the options that a student could take. And the honors stream actually allows you to dip a little bit into both the plants and animal side. So animal science is that third option for a major in that degree program. So this will have a combination of core agricultural sciences with a wide range of electives, so it's very flexible. This is a great opportunity to take advantage of the international exchange or semester abroad, independent research courses, field courses, and experiential learning credits. Life sciences and agricultural practices in combination with specialized skills and experiences are a big part of this program. So it's really flexible, as I said before, which I think makes it really unique. So students don't necessarily have to choose to focus in on just the plants or just the animals. They can get that combined experience on both sides.
So here's our story about a recent graduate that's now working in their field. This is Chris Olbach. Before coming to university, Chris worked at Nutrico feed mill. In one of the summers between semesters of his undergrad, he was an agronomy intern with DuPont Pioneer. The following summer, he became a sales intern with DuPont Pioneer, so he got to see a different side of the crop industry, doing both the sales side and the agronomy side. The summer after he graduated, he became a crop specialist with FS Partners. And then since then, he's become an area agronomist for Eastern Ontario with Pioneer Seeds. He's a graduate of the Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, Crop, Horticulture, and Turfgrass Science major, and was involved in a variety of different experiential learning opportunities on campus.
So the next program that I'd like to talk about is a Bachelor of Science in Plant Science. So they'll explore plants through the study of their diversity, growth, development, environment, interactions, and molecular biology and economic uses. Plant ecology, botany, genetics, agriculture, and more are all part of this program. So there are hands-on experiences in labs, through independent research courses, and through field trips. Attending the Midwest Crop Tour and going to Costa Rica are some of the common experiential learning trips that students from this program often will participate in.
Now we'll move on to our associate diplomas that we offer at the University of Guelph and our Ridgetown campus. So the first I'll talk about is agriculture, the associate diploma in agriculture. It involves applied farm and production and agribusiness experiences in combination of practical experiences and technical and scientific information. This program is held at our Ridgetown campus, just about 2.5 hours southwest of Guelph. It involves them learning the science, technology, and business of agriculture and focus in the areas of business, crops, livestock, or fruit and vegetable production. So students have a variety of different courses and they can choose kind of what area they want to specialize in. There's also opportunity for experiential learning credits through international study opportunities as well. My brother did this program and had a great time at Ridgetown. So he chose to focus mainly on the crop side because he knew he was going back to our grain farm. So it's really great to kind of make it what you want in this program.
The next diploma program that we'll talk about is horticulture. So this is one of the programs that you can gain the knowledge that you need to succeed in that horticulture sector. So that can be anything to do with floriculture, so flowers. It can be to do with vegetable crops as well, both in the greenhouse or outside of it. So you have the opportunity to go creativity and develop skills through practical labs in the greenhouse or campus grounds. There are experiential learning credits through international travel also available. Again, this program is housed at the Ridgetown campus, and most of our diploma programs are out of that campus, excluding just one that Christine is going to tell you about now.
So this is the Associate Diploma in Turfgrass Management. It involves a combination of practical and scientific study with hands-on learning. field trips, and a summer internship, which is a super great opportunity for those students. They gain the skills needed to succeed in this industry, and they use collaborative resources at the University of Guelph staff and faculty, industry professionals, and workshop and lab facilities at the Guelph Turfgrass Institute. Here's a short video we'll just show you, and it really showcases the profession of turfgrass management at a golf course. Scratch that, it's not going to play for us today. When I forward you the link to this webinar, though, I'll try to include the video in that. Just making note, though, too, though it does showcase the possibility of having a career in turfgrass management at a golf course, it doesn't just set someone up well for that kind of career, but also they could work at a sports field, municipality, etc. So we do have graduates working at BMO Field or Rogers Center managing the turf there.
So as we move on to talk a little bit more of the career side, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the agriculture careers. So as you can see here in the yellow box, there's a big diversity in the types of jobs that a graduate might pursue. So that can be something that's within primary production. It can be something that's to do with using technology, which is largely in precision agriculture. It can also be something that's in sales. Working with a company on that sales side. Being a technical sales representative is always an option in terms of having that expert knowledge on the actual production side itself, but then being able to help clients get the products that they need. In addition to that, there are also opportunities in things like agricultural policy advisors, so roles within the government, which can also be really interesting pathways to participate in.
So on the plant, crop, and horticulture side, in terms of careers, we have opportunity to become an agronomist, which I like to describe this as being a doctor for plants. So just as your doctor would prescribe medicine for you if you're sick, an agronomist will go out to the field, test the soil, make sure that the crops are growing okay, and then prescribe different fertilizers and inputs for those plants to succeed in the future. You could also be ecosystem biologist, environmental risk assessor, research associate, certified crop advisors, and other opportunities you can go on to become. Greenhouse manager, plant breeder, golf course superintendent, or park superintendent, and then a sports field manager.
Okay, I'm going to talk to you a little bit now about those requirements to be admitted to those programs. So on this first slide here, we have the undergraduate degree programs. So we've got both majors that we discussed in the Bachelor of Science in Agriculture. So the requirements there in high school are exactly the same. They're the same degree, just different majors. And you can see there that the English credit and math credit is identified, as well as 2 of the following 3 sciences that are listed, all at the university level, and then that additional 2 university or M-level courses in high school. One recommendation I want to make that I'm not sure if I mentioned it before on these webinars, but is really important when talking to prospective students that are pursuing university is that although in high school you only are required to take 2 of the 3 in order to be admitted to a program, I strongly recommend taking all 3 if those courses are going to be in your first year of study. So it's important to take a look at what those first year courses are going to be to make the best decision about what classes you should take in high school. If you have to take a class like physics, for example, in university and you didn't take it in high school, you'll have to take that makeup course then to then catch yourself up by not taking that high school credit, which will lose you an elective. So that's important to know. In Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, you actually don't have to take physics. So in this case, I usually recommend to students that they just take the biology and chemistry if physics is not something that they're strong at or they don't like. For the Bachelor of Science in Plant Science, you will have to take physics in that program. So I would recommend all 3 sciences, however, it's only required for 2. You can see there too in the estimated cutoff ranges that the average is a little bit higher for that Bachelor of Science program opposed to the Bachelor of Science in Agriculture. Keep in mind that those cutoff ranges are also based on students that received offers in the previous year. So that doesn't necessarily guarantee admission or deny someone admission. It's just a really good idea of the range that students are in when they receive offers from the University of Guelph. So just a good sort of target to be in, but isn't necessarily going to guarantee or deny anyone admission. Okay, so the next one that we're looking at here are our diploma programs. So you can see that the cutoff ranges are all the same. However, the requirements for admission are a little bit different. Something that I want to make point of is the background information form, or what we like to call a BIF form. So those are forms that are going to ask some additional questions about the students and a little bit about their background and history with the subject matter related to that program. So it's a little bit more of the personality, previous experiences, and interest of the program. So that's an important thing to keep in mind with those programs. Otherwise, everything's pretty self-explanatory there. Making sure that you've completed your high school credits. And then it does say that they encourage students to try to complete a university level course at either the grade 11 or grade 12 level in math, biology, and chemistry. However, college level is accepted.
Now we'll be sharing some of the different resources that we in the OAC Liaison Program offer to you as educators. So look for these 4 icons in the next following slides. So the little red icon here symbolizes an in-class workshop. The yellow is an on-campus experience. Blue is a curriculum-linked lesson plan. And then the little black icon represents professional development opportunities. So the first one we'll talk about is the Careers in Agriculture and Beyond workshop. This one is in-class workshop, meaning we come to you and deliver this interactive presentation to your students. We actually delivered it twice yesterday to 2 different classes, and it went really well, and students really enjoyed it, and they were super excited to be opened up to the possibility of different careers in agriculture and food. It allows them to explore a variety of educational and career pathways in agriculture and related sectors through hands-on activities and facilitated discussions. There are multiple activities in it, so it highlights many of the different careers in this field, and it aligns well with the grade 10 civics and careers curriculum.
All right, the next one that we're going to talk about is plant identification. So this is one of our longest existing on-campus experiences that we offer. So as a reminder, when a class comes for an on-campus experience day, they get to pick 2 sessions for that day. So this is one of those options that they can choose to participate in. So this session will challenge the knowledge of plants at the Bovey greenhouse, which is in the pictures here. So students and teachers will get to learn about from the greenhouse technician about current plant research, which is then followed by an interactive activity where the students will work in groups to identify a collection of plants. This session is offered on campus only. It fits really well with science curriculum and with certain SHSM programs.
So this is the Plant DNA Extraction Lab. It is an on-campus experience. This workshop introduces students to plant genetics with the Department of Plant Agriculture. Students will extract DNA from plant tissue and learn from an informative lecture on applications in plant research and breeding. If time allows, your group would get a tour of the different grow rooms that are housed in plant agriculture, like the one pictured here. So they're actually in a grow room, and then the picture on the right there, they're working on extracting the plant tissue.
Okay, plant preservation at GRIP. So GRIP stands for the Gosling Research Institute for Plant Preservation. We love our abbreviations at the University of Guelph. We're really lucky on campus to be home to many really cool research facilities. So in this on-campus experience, students will visit GRIP and uncover the concepts of plant preservation, conservation, and biodiversity. They'll attend a short lecture on plant tissue culture, cryobiology, and plant production systems, followed by an activity where they transfer plant tissue culture in a laboratory setting, which is seen in these photos here. Students will also get to take home their transferred plants. So the plant that they usually use is called a sundew, which is a carnivorous plant. So it'll live in that gel until it eats up all of that gel that's in the bottom of the container that you can see there that's red. And then you can try to transplant that plant and continue to grow it. So it's really, really fun.
The next resource I'll draw your attention to is the Biodiversity of Lawns. This is a curriculum-linked lesson plan. Hey, Carly, Did you know there are 4 different varieties of turfgrass commonly found in lawns in Ontario?
I didn't.
Well, in this lesson plan, you can figure that out. While most accounts of turfgrass areas refer to them as monocultures, this is generally not true. Lawns consist of many species, each with different characteristics that aid in the resiliency or strength of the lawn ecosystem. This lesson plan includes a variety of activities that can be performed with these 4 species to show the diversity of species found in lawns and how those differences can be observed in seed size and germination time. This curriculum-linked lesson plan is aligned with grade 11 biology, both university and college levels, and UC environmental sciences. It is available for download on our website. So if you just go to the link that we've sent you before in the past, and we'll send it again when we send this webinar out, you can download this lesson plan there.
Okay, now we're going to move into some of our partners' resources. So we've mentioned our partner Agscape many times before. They're the voice of agriculture in the classroom in Ontario, and they, like us, strive to engage youth in food and agriculture topics. So they offer free lessons, 60 to 75 minutes in length. They're led by Ontario certified teachers, and they are linked and relevant to the Ontario curriculum. They deliver those to grades 7 to 12. To grades 7 to 12 in their classrooms, and they have 12 different agri-food topics. So teachers can request as many different lessons as they would like at the website listed there. You can also contact Mercedes, and her contact information is at the bottom, but will also appear in a future slide. One session that I would like to point out that they have is plant biotechnology. So this specific one will explore genetically modified organisms and biotechnology and discuss the social, ethical, and environmental and other issues surrounding genetic research and related technology practices. They'll consider the different perspectives, including things about careers and beliefs that are involved in plant biotechnology. So if that's something that you want to come to your class, you can contact Mercedes Unwin, or you can go onto the Agscape website and request that visit through the Teacher Ambassador Program.
So I'll next talk about the 4-H resources that we have here in Ontario. So there are a variety of different club projects that youth could take or participate in when they sign up for 4-H. This is just a short list. There's tons more on their website, and it kind of depends on which clubs the local association would like to offer. So there is a club in agriculture awareness, field crops, agricultural biotechnology, loyal to the soil, real dirt on farming, a greener house, gardening. So there's 2 different versions of that. There's Green Thumbs and Let's Get Growing. And then there's a club called Let's Landscape. You can view more of their resources at the 4-H Ontario website listed here. So we're back to that question I asked at the beginning. What do you think would attract students to pursue studies in plants and agriculture? If you can just take a minute to type your response to that in the chat box, that would be lovely. We'll just keep talking just for the essence of time to keep things rolling. Just to remind you of our upcoming webinar dates. So in March, on the 13th, we'll be talking about animals and the different educational and career pathways in that subject area. And then on April 24th, we'll be covering the environment. So if you have any specific questions you'd like to see covered on either of these topics, please write them in the chat box below or email them to us, and we'll do our best to answer them in the future webinars.
So that concludes the content for today's webinar. Again, we thank you for joining us today. We're really excited to continue with the series, and we really love your feedback. So any constructive criticism that you might have to offer, but also your feedback on that question that Christine asked, then that would be fantastic. We really love to hear from our audience and make sure that we're on point with the content that we're offering, but also use this as a learning experience for ourselves in developing our programming. So if you have any questions for us or any feedback, please feel free to put that into the chat box now. and we can answer them live, or feel free to contact us at that email address that you can see on the screen with any questions or concerns following the webinar. Okay, we're not seeing too much activity out there, so I think we're going to wrap it up. Have a wonderful long Family Day weekend. Hopefully everyone will get a chance to have some rest and relaxation, and let's hope it gets a little bit warmer.
Thank you everyone for your participation, and we'll see you in March.